Hello YouTube, this is Alan from Team Shockwave here with the tournament report. This is a tournament report for a regional in Maine, Portland. The deck I played this weekend was Dark Drago Pals. It was a decision made a week before the tournament with Tucker and Charlie. We decided that this was the best deck to play for this format. Specifically this build, not the Ariadne build, just because the Ariadne build had a lot more weaknesses to back rows destruction, disruption. Just like how Gallo said, if they have the Twin Twister, you automatically lose, and it's not very good. So what led up to this was an announcement, obviously, from the regionals. I decided to go because I haven't been playing or judging a lot in the past 6 months. So since I decided to go, I just play tested a few decks here and there, and mainly the deck I had built was Drago Pals. Didn't know exactly which variation. However, halfway through the month, I decided I kind of wanted to play Cosmos, kind of wanted to play Monarchs, kind of want to play Burning Abyss. I couldn't play Burning Abyss since I don't have anti-spell fragrances or anything like that. Booby Trap Ease. Then I went into the thought of playing Cosmos. I couldn't really figure out what build. However, I did spend like $100 to buy the Cosmos deck online. Now I have a Cosmos deck. It's not bad, but I have it. So now I was debating between Cosmos and Drago Pals. I told Charlie Kip and Tucker Lau, they're like, don't play that deck, it's so bad, it just loses, that's all it does. In a sense, it kind of does. Either you had the pieces or you didn't. If your farm girl can't go in directly or attack, then you couldn't do anything. So farm girl wasn't very good, etc., etc. I was then contemplating on Drago Pals and Monarch or FTK, because, you know, FTK is fun time killing. I have a fun time killing you. So, and then they said, no, that takes no skills, don't do it. Just play a Drago Pals and you're skilled to win. I'm like, alright, fine. Then now we're moving on to deck building. Deck building was how to make it the most optimal deck. So they said that they're playing 3 Armageddon Knights with one dragon and 1 Zephyros. They didn't play any MSTs or anything like that. They played the Painful Decision, 2 Painful Decision, and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I didn't like that build. So eventually what happens here is that I decided to play main deck 3 MSTs due to research from the Tulsa regional, I believe, from the week before, and a few other regionals around the area where BA was the top deck, Cosmos was pretty huge. Basically, it said that there was a bunch of back rows, and another deck was Ariadne, Pepe that made top decks. So I decided that main decking triple MST was very huge. Double Archfiend is nice. Can't say it's good. I mean, against Drago Pals, it was fantastic because if I have no field, activate Archfiend, destroy back row, he has 2 scales. He would Wavering Eyes and still only do the 500 and search out a pendulum monster. So he wouldn't be able to banish. So I mean, yes, it got rid of an Archfiend, but Archfiend was going to go anyways. So that was how I decided to main deck the 3 MSTs. And then eventually now we move on to the side deck. What needs to go in the side deck? We thought about it, the different decks, the BA, etc., etc. We thought about Mask of Restrict, Denkos, more Spells and Trap Hate, more Pure Iron Walls, Drawn Lockbirds, Rain Goat. There's a bunch of stuff like for many random decks. Tucker Lau, who has also bought Pat Hogan's book, says you shouldn't take into consideration rogue decks because just because it tops one event doesn't mean that everyone's gonna go and like circle around this one deck, where it is based off of luck and who goes first, and then you should also base off of just the overall tournament, and that's basically what we did. We decided to take out the Drawn Lockbirds, the Rain Goats. Say if we lose to it, we lose to it because you wouldn't have seen it coming anyways. It was a if they went first, you lost. You get second, you have that side deck card, great. But what happens game 3? They'll probably kill you there and there unless you top decked a card or had the card in your first 5 initial cards. And your odds of having that 1 card or 3 cards is either going to be about 30% or to 10%. So you really can't chance any of that and just play your optimal against any other deck. If you lose that one match, it's not a big deal. If like in this situation you call it 6-1, you probably get top 8. Most optimal we decided was that Max C's has to be either in the deck, side deck, or main deck. I fiddled around with the main deck and side deck and eventually moved it to the side deck. Ghost Ogres were put in because of the Draco Powell match, but the thing is Draco Powell wasn't very good. Like I didn't see the Ghost Ogres. It wasn't very optimal in my scenario. The 7-card Kaiju was the most important thing that I played this entire weekend. It got rid of problematic monsters. I mean, in Pepe deck, you get rid of all the extra Seas monsters. You activate Kaiju Slumber. Strike can't stop it because it's not an inherent summon. It's not an effect monster effect activating. So it wiped the entire board, and you got 2 monsters, and you just beat them out. You got rid of Nightmare, Giant Hand, and Rafflesia, so you can special summon more. It was just fantastic. And then the 2 systems. I mean, against BA, you get rid of the Beatrice or the Pilgrim, and then against Cosmos, get rid of Spaceship with Psychics. And then since I main deck the MSTs, I can hit the Call the Haunted and things like that. And them not having a Cosmos on the field, Cosmojo is dead. It goes on. It helped a lot. And if they go interrupt the Kaiju Slumber on a tin can, they either force to special summon a monster, wasting their resources on a Dark Destroyer on the field or a Slip Rider just to get out a card. It's just not very optimal for them. Especially since Kaiju Slumber doesn't target, all his big spaceships regardless just dies. It just dies and goes away. Yeah, so that was a really great side deck option. This was brought up through Charlie, who read a Pat Hoban article from their ARG website. However, people have said that it was Alexander Lisgith, which was Base Lolly, if you know about him. He was actually the guy that these 2 guys, I can't say which one, had an idea of making that as a side deck to get rid of problematic monsters. Even get rid of Nat Beast by just attributing their monsters special summon on their side of the field. So it then allowed you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The great thing about this side deck was that it sided out a bunch of like non-engine cards for it, so that like even if you drew into these Kaiju monsters, you more likely will still have an engine for it. The biggest thing that I sided out was Dark Engine, because sending a dragon for 1 card in the back row was not very necessary, because eventually the decks that I faced were decks that probably sided out most of the trap cards, thinking that they will go second, or thinking that there'll be a lot of more spells and trap hits against them, which I do side against them. But having these Kaijus allowed me to get rid of the more problematic thing, which is the monsters. In this game, losing life points means you lose the game. So me allowing them to have the trap cards that pays life points and getting rid of their monsters, they couldn't deal life points to me, but they couldn't deal with the monsters. So that was huge, and that a lot of people didn't see that. So the extra deck eventually, came to be 2 Dynasters, 3 Ignisters, and 2 Magisters, which allowed me to go into more boss monsters, I guess you can say. Alright, let's get to... Alright, let's get to my tournament. Round 1 I faced against Water. No, sorry. Alright, so let's get to the... Alright, so let's get to the rounds. Round 1 I faced against Pepe. This guy I've seen a few YCSs, a few regionals, and he said that I was actually one of the more competent players. And I was like, oh shucks, I had to play one of the more competent players in this tournament. And you know, I didn't I didn't know who he was by the name on the match pairings, but once I saw him, I knew who he was. So game 1 I lost. He had a huge setup. I just couldn't get over it. I just scooped. Game 2, I beat him down. Game 3, same thing. It was just him having an Ariadne build with back rows. He just couldn't deal with it. Game 3 was even better just because it was within 2 minutes when he was starting off as game 1. I let him go first, and he just kept searching for counter trap cards. I kept giving him the ones that paid the most life points. Like Solemn Warning, take it. Solemn Strike, take Solemn Scolding, take it. That's yours. You know, just take it. So at that point, I knew that he really couldn't do anything. So all I had to do was just Kaiju Slumber or something like that, and just wipe the board. And then there it is, beat down, and he couldn't activate any trap cards that he searched out for, because you know they were dead. Round 2, I was facing Infernoids. I won game 1, but game 2, I think I misplayed somewhere, and it was just horrendous. Game 3, I summoned the Utopia Lightning to get over his Clearwing Synchro Dragon. That was huge because there's no actual monsters to actually get over it. So I went into Utopia Lightning and just attack over it. Because it's not a monster that's level 5 or higher, activating effect or targeting anything, so that was really good. And eventually, you know, it snowballed after that, and we won. Round 3 was against Draco Pals, Ariane build again. I misplayed here where I had the 3000 Kaiju and my opponent had went to Castell. I was thinking, oh, I should bottom this trap hole so that I can poke again, but however, he had a scale set. And what happens after that, he just pendulum summoned again and just attacked me. And I was like, oh, are you serious? So I should have just let him Castell my monster, and because I think I still had another play afterwards. It was not necessary for me to do it. And just bottom trap all the pendulum monsters. That was more important. Game 3, I just beat him to death, literally. It was just bad. Okay, round 4, we had a part where 4 of 5 of our guys in the cars were in the top 4 table. It was pretty sick, and we just took a picture, and then they announced a repair, everyone. I'm like, no! And then eventually Guillermo and I were facing each other. He knows what I was playing, he knows what I was. I knew what he was playing. He said it for me to go first. I'm like, alright. I made Dweller first turn, detach. Set one back row, make Dweller, pass turn. Activate Dweller, he summons Infantry, summons Prince, and go Treacherous Trap Hole before you activate Prince effect. And then he was like, and then Scoops goes to game 2, that was maybe 3 minutes. So then it was a long grind game. I actually had to, he thought he could make Moon Glacia. I'm like, oh shit, here it comes, Moon Glacia. He goes, make this, activate this, pass turn. I'm like, what? Like, that's the Moon Glacier play. I can see it right there. And I tell him afterwards, and he was like, oh, I should have, maybe I would have, whatever. So he had the equip card that negates spell cards, and I activate Archfiend. And me not knowing the ruling about this, but apparently activating a scale, that means you're activating a spell effect, therefore the scale would automatically tribute itself, trying to negate the activation of the spell card. But however, since the continuous spell card, it stays in the field. So scale goes to the field for me, trying to activate the thing, activate my 3 scale, I believe it's Master or Vector. And I Vector. And I pendulum summon Master and a Monkey Board in defense mode to attack over his Prince. However, because of this ruling I didn't know, if I activate Monkey Board and activate the Monkey Board, this initial activation, the scale will go, and I can still activate Monkey Board to search out a card, which would allow me to actually go off on him. But because I didn't know that, it didn't allow me to do that, I guess you could say. So that was very disappointing. But I did win 2-0 on that one because it was a really long grind game, Monkey Board in defense mode every single time, was Dinoster, and it just kept going back and forth. Eventually, I won out. Round 5 was Ariane Pepe. It was a guy named Anthony Kelly Howard. He was from Connecticut, very nice guy. The only disappointing part was I soft cheated him in game 2. I won game 1. Game 2, I activate 2 Kaiju Slumbers in one turn, thinking that number 38 negated the activation, but it doesn't negate activation, so next time I'll know. But however, I had an MST and a Gamma Seal in my hand. MST for his back rows and Gamma Seal to just special summon on the side of the field. If I special summon it on the side of the field, I activate Kaiju Slumber, allowing me to special summon the Kaijus. At that point, then the board was still in white. I would still run over his Gamma Seal that I would have given him. It would have been the same thing, but the only difference with that would be I had a Kaiju Slumber in my hand. So if somehow I can get back another Kaiju from the field or graveyard to the deck, I can just activate another Kaiju Slumber, which would have been fantastic for me. There was one point where he was playing, I think it's game 1, he was playing around my 2 back rows. I see he pendulum summons two monsters. I go Treacherous Trap Hole, because I didn't want to bottomless at that point, because then if I bottomless first, then Treacherous Trap Hole, I can't activate Treacherous Trap Hole because I have bottomless Trap Hole in the graveyard. So I go Treacherous Trap Hole, killing 2, goes to the extra deck, like alright, whatever. Then it passes turn, I just poke for damage. Yeah, poke for damage, he goes activate Scales again, or Pendulum Summon. Pendulum summons only 3 monsters. At this point, I only have a Sorcerer and a bottom chapel on the field. On the field, yeah. So he has 2 scales and he pendulum summons 3. I'm like, fuck. It's because he has 6 in his extra deck. So I'm like, if he pendulum summons 6, I mean, go 5. I would bottom chapel all of them. But he didn't. So he pendulum summoned 3. I'm like, there's no Sorcerer. Oh, he is Sorcerer. He's like, are you activating an effect? He's like, no. And I'm like, alright, bottomless Trap Hole. And he was like, oh, shoot. And then it's like, pass turn. And we drew a card and pension some of that as well. So I'm like, oh god, like, what can I top deck here? And like, I don't know. So I just top deck Luster. And I summon it, synchro with the Sorcerer, activate Ignister effect to destroy a scale to spin back a card. I destroyed his 3rd master in a scale, spin back his wolf into the extra deck, into the main deck. So now he's top decking, and I have Ignister at this 2850, and special summoned a whatchamacallit, a master. So he has to get it over a master and an Ignister. So I was pretty lucky. Anyway, that's round 5. Round 6, I'm facing against Azad Pepe. Game 1, he just had to max C's every single time. I was playing super conservative, and eventually I lost that one because he OTK'd me to the point where he just couldn't get back. Game 2, I had the Kaiju side deck, and that got over a bunch of the cards. Sorry, checking the battery. Game 3, that was an interesting game where he had summoned Armageddon. I dumped Zephyros, activate Vector, bounce back Vector, special summon Zephyros. I activate Rafflesia, to sending Treacherous Trap Hole, killing 2 of his monsters. Then he goes Instant Fusion, gets Norden, special summons Zephyros, overlays into Imps, detach, gets Lizard Draw, activate Scale. So now here I have a bottom chapel set, a Rafflesia defense mode, and that was it. I think he had a max C again, so I'm like, alright, whatever. Then he now scale is set. He pendulum summons the rest of his hand. 3. Oh, I have bottom chapel and wavering eyes face down, actually. Sorry. Pendulum summons 3. So he has an imps and 3 monsters. 1 being a master. I was like, oh crap. Alright, so I'm fine with wavering eyes. But what can he go into? That's the huge question, right? So I'm like, summon successful, no response. No, I didn't have bottom chapel. I only had wavering eyes, I think. Yeah, only wavering eyes. Wavering eyes in a MST. Wavering eyes and something else. I forget what it was, but I definitely had wavering eyes. Then he. Oh, wavering eyes and Kaiju Slumber. I said Kaiju Slumber for bluff reasons. I'm bad. Then he goes. Overlay Master and whatever, another monster for Castell. Because I knew he had no hand, I just do Wavering Eyes, destroying all 4 scales, banishing the Castell, and I'm sure he understood that was game, because he couldn't get over Freeze in defense mode with the imps and another level 4 monster. So he's just like, well, that's game. Good luck next round. I'm like, yeah, sorry, Azad. I mean, it was nice seeing him again. He came back. It was nice. He got second, so round 7 I faced against Water. I knew what he was playing, he knew what I was playing. He didn't know my side deck, I didn't know his side deck, so we just played it out. Game 1, I knew he was playing, so he made me go first. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I made Dweller turn 1 activate its effect on draw phase because people can play Game of Seals in this deck because there's more synergy with the Water card. So once that happened, he apparently had 3 Princes and 1 Teus in hand, so he activate Teus, discard Prince, activate Teus effect to search out Turge, normal summon Turge, Turge attacks and Dweller in attack mode, and then that was it. That was the end of that. Game 2, he sided so hard against me, Twin Twisters, Maxis, and things like that. I go face off, he goes, face off, Maxi, and then I guess I'll special summon and just attacked since he didn't have anything. I just kept attacking him. Eventually he just lost all his life points. And one of the cool plays that happened was he was forced to normal summon Dragoons. I was normal summon Dragoons. And I looked like, why did you normal summon it? Why didn't you set it? That's so odd. I looked at the life points and it was just, oh, I see. And then setting it technically would have been better actually. Anyways, he normal summons it. I'm like, oh, how do I get over it? I just got top deck. I had a Kaiju in my hand, so I top decked a Kaiju. I special summoned Kaiju on his opponent's side, and then special summoned mine because I had no monsters at that point, and that was the only monster I had was Kaiju. So top decking another Kaiju or another monster at all would have been game. So that's what happened. Just Kaiju, attack, and that was game. He was very disappointed because he wanted it to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And obviously he couldn't, and that was very sad. Overall, the tournament experience was very good. I just chatted a lot with the opponents, very casual. It's what I came in, like my mentality was, I didn't really come in with a win. I'm like, I would be nice to have an invite so that I can have a choice in Nationals or WCQ to either judge or play. I didn't expect to get first, which is really nice. The TO gave extra packs, it was awesome. I haven't opened it yet, I'll see a video afterwards. Judges were good, very professional. Obviously, because I know them, I kind of joke around with them. I joke around with the other players as well. So I try to create a stress-free mood since I work 2 jobs, 7 days a week, close to 60 hours. As most people do that within the 5 days. I do it over the 7 days, so I don't really have the time to go to locals and play. And then what happened? Oh, yeah. Before the tournament, as I say, I took it very casual and lenient. I bought this dual disc, so it's still working. It's awesome, as you can see. The only thing that's missing is one right here, so I'll probably just paint that in. Get a sticker or something like that. But yeah, that was the tournament report. Thanks to Jason, thanks to Parker, thanks to Tucker Lau, to Charlie Kipp for playtesting, Jason for letting me borrow cards, and Rob McLean for the Castell and the ride. It was very, very fun. Unfortunately, I didn't take the top 4 picture, which they really wanted to take a picture of. So yeah, play tested a lot. Alright, thanks for listening to my tournament report. Peace.